squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport.
Former President Trump kicks off a campaign blitz here in the West, while Vice President Kamala Harris makes moves of her own in one West Coast battleground.
We share not only a concern but a commitment to our country and what's most important.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Both major presidential candidates are taking their message directly to voters here in the West. Former President Trump made his second stop of the day in the battleground state of Nevada. Late this afternoon, he rallied supporters in Reno, making promises about his economic plans.
We're going to restore the American dream, to bring jobs and factories and wealth racing back to the United States. We will have a 15% made in America corporate tax rate, cutting the tax from 21 to 15.
Earlier today, the former president made a campaign stop in Aurora, Colorado. Local law enforcement officials there have said Trump's claims that the city is being overrun by gang members are overstated. But this afternoon, against a backdrop reading End Migrant Crime, Trump announced what he calls Operation Aurora to remove Venezuelan gangs from that city.
We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left in this country.
The former president will stay busy here in the West over the weekend. Tomorrow, he will take part in a roundtable discussion with Latino voters in Las Vegas. He'll wrap up the day with a rally in Coachella, California, outside of Palm Springs. And on Sunday, he plans to hold another rally in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Vice President Harris spent a second straight day in the crucial battleground state of Arizona. The Democratic presidential nominee attended an event by the group Republicans for Harris in Scottsdale. She told the crowd she intends to create a bipartisan council of advisors if elected president. She's also pushing the idea that finding common ground is the best way to govern.
Each of you have had the courage to say, hey, we may not agree on every single thing. That's also what a democracy looks like. But foundational, first principles cannot be in question. Not for the sake of our children, not for the sake of our future and well-being, not for the sake of our standing in the world.
And on Sunday, the vice president will head back to Nevada, another key battleground where she has a rally that is planned in Reno. And former President Barack Obama will head here to the West to campaign for the vice president next week. He's planning to hold a rally in Tucson, Arizona, coming up on Friday, October 18th, 1 week from today. And then the next day, he'll be rallying voters during a campaign stop happening in Las Vegas. Many Oregon residents have noticed that former President Donald Trump's name is not listed on their voter pamphlets. The Oregon Secretary of State's office says this is because the Trump campaign chose not to submit a statement for that pamphlet, which usually lists candidates' occupations and background. Authorities assure voters that Trump will appear on Oregon's November ballot. Authorities in Southern California are searching tonight for two suspects wanted for a deadly shooting that stemmed from a road rage confrontation. Fox 11's Mario Ramirez is in Los Angeles with how a dispute on surface streets then spilled onto a busy freeway.
California Highway Patrol investigators continue the search for two armed suspects who they say were involved in a deadly road rage incident here on the freeway in Boyle Heights. Sky Fox was over the scene where the passenger inside this gold Cadillac was shot dead. The driver seriously injured and rushed to the hospital. The shooting unfolding on the northbound lanes of the 5 freeway near Lorena Street after an alleged road rage incident on surface streets spilled onto the freeway. CHP investigators say that gold Cadillac rear-ended an uninvolved car, and that's when they say two armed suspects got out of the dark-colored Dodge Durango and opened fire on the Cadillac.
The driver of the Durango fled the scene. We believe it's two Hispanic male adults.
Trying to escape the gunfire, the driver, they say, made a U-turn, colliding with several other vehicles before coming to a stop. The driver in the Cadillac seriously injured, and the passenger died from their injuries.
Hopefully they catch him soon, because we don't know what their intentions are, if to hurt more people or not.
The CHP says several other vehicles were hit by gunfire apart from those involved, but fortunately none of those people were injured. The shooting and homicide investigation shutting down parts of the northbound freeway and snarling traffic for miles.
Oh, it's absolutely dangerous to the public. You've got vehicles stop and go traffic at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a major artery. People getting out and walking up on a car, shooting other people. It's just detrimental to the public safety.
Investigators are asking for anyone who may have been on the freeway and captured the incident or that dark-colored Dodge Durango on dash cam video to contact the CHP. In Boyle Heights near the 5 freeway, I'm Mario Ramirez, Fox 11 News.
In Utah tonight, some people are being told to leave their homes immediately because of a wildfire that authorities say is growing at a rapid pace. Tonight, the Yellow Lake fire is more than 19,000 acres and 21% contained. Crews say this fire is expected to become more difficult to contain because of drier conditions expected later on this week. The California firefighter accused of arson appeared in a Sonoma County courtroom today for a bail hearing. The Press Democrat reports the judge has ordered Robert Hernandez to remain in custody without bail. Prosecutors accuse the 38-year-old of starting 5 separate fires in 3 different cities while off duty back in August and September. The judge said she came to her decision after considering public safety. There's no word tonight on a possible motive in this arson case. We are learning more tonight about what happened at a tourist mine in Colorado late yesterday, where a dozen people became trapped for hours and 1 person wound up dead. As Fox 13's Jonathan Hunt reports, investigators say the person who died worked at that mine.
An elevator malfunction led to a deadly accident at a tourist attraction in rural Colorado. It happened on Thursday in the town of Cripple Creek, about 100 miles south of Denver, at an inactive gold mine called the Molly Kathleen. A group of 24 tourists were heading down the mine shaft when the elevator had some sort of breakdown, killing 1 person. 11 of the tourists were rescued, 4 reported minor injuries, while the remaining 12 were trapped about 1,000 feet below the surface, with only radios connecting them to the outside world.
They were in this tunnel and didn't know that any of this was going on. So it was a shock to them to know that they were actually part of a national media thing that was going on.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis responded by deploying more resources to the area, including a mine rescue team. Finally, after hours of repair and observation, the remaining tourists were slowly brought to the surface. The mine's operators say they're now closed until further notice, writing on their website, quote, "The Molly Kathleen experienced a tragic event. We would like to send our prayers and condolences to everyone involved."
This isn't an active mine, it's actually a tourism destination that identifies really what happens in mines. It's a family-owned business that's been here for well over 50 years, and they're good folks that run this mine.
Officials say the elevator has only malfunctioned once before, 38 years ago, and there were no fatalities in that incident. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, some scary moments for people on board a hot air balloon in New Mexico. Tonight, what happened when their balloon clipped a radio tower. Also, see how volunteers from the West are training to help hurricane victims in Florida.
And in weather, here's our live camera in Phoenix. Current temperature is still in the upper 90s. We're going to have the weekend forecast update coming up.
In New Mexico, a hot air balloon crashed into a radio tower today, causing it to collapse. This happened in Albuquerque shortly after that balloon launched from Balloon Fiesta Park. Authorities say 3 people were on board and they were all able to safely land in that balloon. Tonight, the FAA is investigating what caused that accident. Boeing is planning to lay off about 10% of its workforce in the coming months. That's roughly 17,000 people. The company is blaming the ongoing strike by machinists. CEO Kelly Ortberg says those job cuts will include executives, managers, along with other employees. Several members of Congress have sent a letter to Boeing urging the plane maker to resume its negotiations with striking workers. Washington Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal posted an image of the letter on X showing 30 lawmakers have signed that request. 33,000 machinists across the Pacific Northwest went on strike nearly a month ago, calling for higher pay and the return of a pension plan. Boeing pulled its latest offer earlier this week, saying the union's demands are unworkable. Economists are estimating this strike will cost Boeing about $1 billion each month. A federal judge says he will rule as soon as possible on whether a plea deal between Boeing and the Justice Department can move forward. This all stems from two 737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019 that killed a total of 346 people. Families of some crash victims showed up in a Texas courtroom today for a hearing in this case. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit fraud for misleading regulators about a flight control system that malfunctioned before those crashes. Some of the victims' families are upset the deal doesn't mention those who died in the crashes.
My daughter is an amazing person. I wish she was still alive. I mean, she deserves to be alive. This plea deal is just a bunch of a facade, a pretend to hold Boeing accountable.
The Department of Justice believes conspiracy to commit fraud is the most serious charge that it can prove. A plea deal on those charges could force Boeing to pay $244 million in fines and force the company to invest more than $450 million into compliance, quality, and safety programs. New images coming in from Florida show some parts of the state still dealing with flooding caused by Hurricane Milton. These images were captured in the city of Brandon today outside of Tampa. First responders, including emergency crews from here in the West, are still searching tonight for people who do need to be rescued. And the death toll from this storm is up to at least 10. Millions of people across Florida remain without power tonight. Fox 10's Lauren Clark shows us how the American Red Cross is training volunteers in Arizona who want to help.
The demand is so high, the Arizona Red Cross changed its training format to get more volunteers out as soon as possible to the areas that need them the most.
Up in the front, you see a couple of tubs.
Working shoulder to shoulder with other volunteers.
Everything that's in here would go into a shelter if we're going to open.
Dennis Fleshman from Mesa helps assemble a cot.
One of the older ones, right?
A skill he'll use extensively over the next few weeks. For years, Dennis volunteered for the Red Cross, last deploying with Katrina. But when he saw news coverage of Helene and Milton, he wanted to return to the work nearly 20 years later.
I enjoy helping people, and I wanted to get back into it.
His labor is badly needed, too.
That we need as many people as are wanting to go.
Speaking with the organization's Florida partners, Michael Young with the Red Cross says the demand for volunteers is great.
I mean, these two storms have just been devastating. Not only have they moved people, but they've wiped out the infrastructure, too, so people don't have places to go, even if we could get them there.
That's why they set up this training class today.
Let's take 10. I'm going to go check on the simulation. Everybody back in here at 1:15, right?
To get people ready to go as soon as possible. Red Cross in Phoenix, Tucson, and Albuquerque are in the process of training up 50 volunteers, and more are wanted.
We have 1,800 available positions.
As for Dennis, he encourages anyone compelled to help to volunteer.
It's worthwhile to get out there, and it can be, anybody can do it.
It's a sense of accomplishment and a feeling of giving back, and it's the kind of reward that will stay with you forever.
And if you feel compelled to help, we do have a link on our website where you can sign up. That's fox10phoenix.com. No prior experience is necessary, but you will have to commit to at least a 2-week deployment. Reporting here in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
You can also look for information on how to get Red Cross training at our website. That's westcoastwrap.com. Well, between Milton and Hurricane Helene, the pair of storms have now caused billions of dollars in damage. FEMA is warning that more funding is going to be needed to get through this fiscal year. Today, President Biden repeated his calls for Congress to return to session. He says both FEMA and the Small Business Administration need more money and should pass emergency relief immediately.
We need a lot more money as we identify specifically how much is needed. So I'm just telling everybody now, I don't want to hear that this is going to be the end of it.
Congress did free up $20 billion for FEMA last month, but House Speaker Johnson says he won't end recess early and additional money must wait until Congress returns in November. And now we want to move along here to this incredible sight, a rare sight in Arizona overnight. Many people spotted the northern lights up in the sky. These images, some of them captured near the Grand Canyon. You saw the saguaros in that last shot there. Just incredible. The auroras were seen farther south than normal because of a severe geomagnetic storm. Those storms were caused by unusually high solar activity from the surface of the sun. NOAA's Space Prediction Center has issued another geomagnetic storm watch for today. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who can tell us whether people here in the West can count on another clear night to maybe try to get out and experience those northern lights. Mark?
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, it could be quite the sight as well. I mean, yesterday we were talking about the probability of those northern lights kind of sinking to the south here. And this map, this is the updated image. This line has been shifting up to the north, so it won't be as far south as last night, but still, as you can see, up in portions of Washington, Idaho, there's a chance you could see it. But even if you look up to the sky tonight, if you do have relatively clear skies, you never know. Could be a cool sight if you have the cloud-free conditions, of course. Now, showing you this as we check out the forecast for the San Francisco Bay Area, closer to the water here. We're talking about Fleet Week in the Bay. We have some drizzle in the forecast tomorrow morning, and then still some clouds into the afternoon hours. So this could impact the air shows around San Francisco tomorrow, and then more sunshine expected by Sunday afternoon. Here's the satellite and the radar as we kind of tour the west here, and we have lots of clear skies out toward Arizona, a few clouds in southern Nevada right now. And then you can see the system up in Northern California. This will be the cloud producer for the Bay Area, and this may generate some scattered showers for Saturday, especially for the morning hours. This was Seattle today, showing you some cloud cover. Temperatures on the cool side, upper 50s. In San Francisco, we had some sunshine this afternoon, 65 degrees. And in Phoenix, it has been quite the stretch of record-breaking heat, 104 degrees this afternoon. It's a new daily record, but that heat could be fading away into next week. Right now, it is 99 in Phoenix, Los Angeles checking in 64, San Francisco 61, and mid-50s to the low 60s for Seattle and in Portland. Here's the breakdown for tomorrow. In Seattle, we are expecting fair skies, some sunshine out toward Denver. We do that shower chance around San Francisco, especially for tomorrow morning. And then down in Southern California, 80s for Los Angeles, and still warm to hot in Phoenix, close to 100 degrees. Here's a breakdown for some more cities up and down the West Coast. There's Olympia, Washington, 72. San Jose in the Bay Area, upper 70s. Down in Southern California, upper 80s. We're not talking about heat there. And then in Arizona, 101 to 102, 103 degrees. So here's the forecast models. You can see the bulk of the coverage in terms of rainfall tomorrow will be up in Northern California. Could be approaching the Bay Area. And then into a Sunday, a fairly quiet weather pattern. Keep an eye on this system offshore here because this could be a rain producer up in the Pacific Northwest into early next week. In fact, this forecast model is definitely bringing the cloud cover by Monday. In San Francisco, lots of clouds tomorrow, especially for the first half of the day. Denver, lots of 70s and 80s. Southern California, no big changes. You can see triple digits out toward Phoenix, but this could be the last of the real hot temperatures. We're expecting temperatures to cool off into next week. And Alex, what's interesting, looking ahead a week from today, Phoenix, the forecast high potentially, don't get too excited, could be in the upper 80s.
Wow.
So that's a big change headed their way.
Yeah, no, and they've had a long, tough summer, so
yeah,
they deserve a break. Mark,
okay.
Thank you. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, Amazon needs help tonight. How it plans to keep up with shoppers' demands over the holiday season. And also find out why 3 girls from here in the West were recognized at the White House. A rare comet from outside the solar system is heading towards Earth, and we should be able to see it soon. The comet was apparently last seen tens of thousands of years ago. Astronomers have been keeping an eye out for it, and they say it's on a journey that started well beyond Pluto. The comet was very close to the sun, which has melted a lot of it and created its huge tail.
This comet has not been in our part of the solar system for about 80,000 years. So that means pretty much the last time it came, the Neanderthals were still around, which is amazing. So it's going to appear in our evening sky after sunset. And hopefully, if it keeps going, it's going to be a magnificent sight. So should be visible with the naked eye, certainly visible with binoculars, and something really to look out for.
And that comet will be at its closest point to Earth on Sunday, which is about 28 million miles away. So try to take a look. Seattle-based Amazon gearing up for the holiday season with a hiring blitz. They are looking for workers from all across the country. Fox 10's Irene Snyder visited a fulfillment center in Phoenix to get an idea of what is needed to keep a steady flow of packages headed to customers.
Amazon is entering its busy season. As Halloween revs up, Amazon locations across the country are looking to hire 250,000 people for the holiday season.
As the holiday seasons kick off, obviously we're ready to deliver to our customers.
The Arizona Amazon hubs are in the process of wrapping up that holiday staffing. They're looking for about 9,000 seasonal employees here in the state.
From folks that do inbound, outbound here in Buckeye, but also in so many of our other facilities here in Arizona, where folks are getting the product, shipping it to locations, getting it closer to your home, and ultimately delivering it to your house.
You have to be 18 years or older to apply for a variety of open positions.
Every Friday, there's availability to see what's come available and see what type of job interests folks, whether it be at a cross stock like this, maybe at a fulfillment center, maybe at some of our same-day facilities. See what's interesting to you, see what's maybe close to your home.
Amazon also offering a pay bump for employees with an average $1.50 increase in pay. The average pay now ranges from $18 to $22 per hour. According to an Amazon spokesperson, this influx of new employees will help them keep up with the demand for holiday packages, while also providing many jobs for Arizonans.
Amazon is a great, fun place to work, and it offers so much flexibility when it comes to not only the positions that are available, especially here in the Valley, but also in terms of your time, and whether you go part-time, full-time, you get to pick a schedule that works for you.
Irene Snyder, Fox 10 News.
And finally tonight, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden celebrated 10 young women this week during the Girls Leading Change event at the White House. And 3 of those girls who were honored are from here in the West. Cheyenne Anderson from New Mexico uses poetry and art to showcase Albuquerque's South Valley. Serena Griffin from Oakland, California, uses storytelling and poetry to uplift marginalized communities. And Colorado's Morgan Wilkins Dean works to eliminate gun violence across the U.S. The First Lady shared a special message to those 10 girls at this Thursday ceremony.
The earth is brighter because of you. Keep filling it with your ideas and your hard work, leading us toward the future you want to see.
And this is the second year the First Lady and the White House Gender Policy Council have hosted the Girls Leading Change event. And congratulations to all of those recipients. They are obviously doing such important work, and we know they will continue to do so in the future. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. And a reminder before we go here, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're covering across the West at westcoastwrap.com. And don't forget to stream our shows on your smart TV by downloading the free Fox Local app. Have a great night. We'll leave you with this beautiful shot of downtown Phoenix.
Yep.